There are moments when the heart feels so heavy, as though it has been carrying a burden for far too long. That burden is often self-blame, a quiet voice that whispers you should have done more, you should have known better, you should have been different. This voice can follow into the quiet moments of the day, creeping into the mind when the world is still, making it hard to rest. In this space, the body begins to feel the weight too, tension in the shoulders, a tightness in the chest, and a heaviness in the spirit. But here, in this moment together, there is no need to defend, explain, or justify anything. This is a space where judgment falls away. Here, you are free to breathe, to simply be, and to open the door to a gentler way of speaking to yourself. Healing begins the moment we allow ourselves to be seen without fear. Even if no one else in the world has witnessed your pain in its fullness, you can witness it now. The heart longs to be heard, and sometimes the person who must hear it most is you. In this safe and loving space, it is possible to acknowledge the ache without drowning in it. It is possible to let tears, if they come, be a form of cleansing rather than shame. In this moment, you are not broken. You are simply tender, and tenderness is a sign of humanity, not weakness. Self-blame often grows quietly in the corners of the mind, without us even noticing at first. It can come from the earliest experiences in life, where a young heart believed it was at fault when things went wrong. Children, not yet able to see the bigger picture, often take on responsibility for things far beyond their control. That habit, once planted, can grow into adulthood, making it feel natural to turn inward with blame whenever life feels painful. Sometimes it is reinforced by the words of others or by the silent disapproval of people who never understood the depth of what you were facing. Over time, this becomes a pattern, a way of thinking that seems so familiar, it feels like the truth. But self-blame is not the truth. It is a story, and like any story, it can be rewritten. When we start to see that self-blame was learned, we can also see that it can be unlearned. This realization is powerful because it shows that the cycle does not have to continue. Thoughts are like seeds, and the ones we water with our attention will grow. If we keep watering the seeds of guilt and criticism, they will take over the garden of our mind. But if we gently stop feeding them and instead plant seeds of understanding and compassion, a different garden begins to grow, one where self-forgiveness blossoms naturally. A mistake, an action we regret, or a choice we would make differently now does not mean the essence of who we are is flawed. Just as clouds drift across the sky without changing the sky itself, our errors pass through our lives without altering the truth of our worth. The mind often tries to convince us that because something happened, we are permanently marked by it. But that is like saying the sky is ruined because of a passing storm. Storms come, and they also clear. The sun returns. The air feels fresh again. You are that sky, vast, open, and unbroken, no matter what storms have passed through. Holding on to self-blame is like holding on to a heavy stone, carrying it everywhere, feeling its weight with every step. At first, it may seem necessary, like proof of responsibility or a way to prevent future mistakes. But over time, the stone becomes a burden that serves no purpose except to tire the heart. Releasing it is not the same as pretending nothing happened. Releasing it is saying, I choose to heal rather than punish myself forever. In that choice, there is power. It is important to understand that the mind and body are deeply connected. Thoughts of self-blame are not just mental, they create ripples that touch the entire body. Muscles tighten, the breath becomes shallow, and the nervous system stays on alert. The body reacts as if danger is near, even when the danger is only a memory replaying in the mind. This constant state of tension can drain energy, weaken the immune system, and make it harder to think clearly. That is why letting go of self-blame is not only an emotional choice, it is an act of physical healing. When the mind softens, the body follows. Shoulders drop, the breath deepens, and a sense of peace begins to spread. One gentle practice to help release this tension is simply pausing and breathing. Sit comfortably, close your eyes if it feels right, and place your hand over your heart. Inhale slowly, feeling your chest rise under your palm. Exhale gently, letting your shoulders relax. With each breath, silently say, "I am safe in this moment." This small act can send a message to the body that it no longer needs to hold on to fear or guilt. The more we offer this reassurance to ourselves, the easier it becomes to let go of the old patterns. Another step toward ending self-blame is learning to speak to ourselves the way we would speak to someone we deeply love. Harsh words cut deeply, even when spoken in the privacy of our own minds. But kind words have the power to heal. Replacing criticism with compassion is like turning on a light in a dark room. It changes the entire atmosphere. A soft inner voice can say, "I understand you did the best you could at the time," or "You are worthy of love, even when you make mistakes." These are not empty words. They are medicine for the soul. Affirmations can be powerful tools here. They are not magic spells that erase pain instantly, but they gently reshape the way we think and feel over time. When repeated with sincerity, they create new pathways in the mind, pathways that lead to peace instead of punishment. Phrases such as, "I forgive myself for not knowing what I didn't know," or "I choose to treat myself with kindness from this moment forward," can be repeated in the morning, before bed, or whenever the old voice of blame appears. It is not about forcing yourself to believe them instantly. It is about planting the words like seeds, knowing they will grow with care. As these small changes take root, the heart begins to remember what it feels like to be at ease. The air feels lighter. There is more space inside. It becomes easier to see that every experience, even the painful ones, has brought you to this moment of awareness. And in this moment, there is a choice to keep carrying the heavy stone of self-blame, or to place it down gently and walk forward with open hands and a softer heart. When the heart begins to soften toward itself, the body follows in a beautiful way. There is a deep connection between what we think and how we feel physically. Every thought carries an energy, and the body listens to it. Words of harshness or guilt can make the chest feel heavy, the breath short, and the muscles tight. It can even cause the stomach to clench and the head to ache without realizing why. This is because the body is always responding to the signals we send it, and when those signals are full of blame, the body reacts as though danger is still present. Over time, this constant state of alert wears us down, not just emotionally, but physically too. When we begin to replace those signals with kindness, everything changes. The body hears the message, "You are safe now," and it begins to relax. Shoulders naturally drop, the jaw loosens, and the breath grows deeper. Energy starts to return, because it is no longer being spent on holding tension. The mind feels clearer because it is no longer clouded by constant criticism. This is why ending self-blame is not just emotional work. It is also physical restoration. It's a way of telling every part of you from head to toe that you deserve peace. One gentle way to begin restoring this harmony is with a breathing practice. Sit or lie comfortably and place both hands gently over the heart. Take a slow breath in through the nose, letting the air fill the lungs. As you breathe out through the mouth, feel the shoulders melting away from the ears. With each exhale, silently say, "I am releasing what I no longer need." With each inhale, say, "I am filling myself with peace." This simple rhythm invites the body into a state of safety and allows the mind to rest. Just a few minutes of this each day can open the door to deeper healing. As the body begins to trust this gentler way of being, the mind is ready to learn a new language, one of kind self-talk. Many of us have spent years speaking to ourselves in ways we would never speak to another soul. The words may have been learned from the voices of the past, from moments where love was replaced by criticism. But the beauty is, we can teach ourselves a new tone, a new vocabulary. The voice inside can become a friend instead of a judge. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it grows with practice. When the old voice of self-blame begins to rise, pause. Place a hand on the heart or the cheek and say something gentle such as, "I am doing my best right now," or "It's okay to be learning." The key is not to argue with the inner critic, but to offer a loving alternative so the heart has something else to listen to. Over time, the softer voice becomes the one we trust. Affirmations can help here, not as a forced chant, but as a warm reminder. When repeated with feeling, they can transform the entire atmosphere of the mind. Sentences like, "I choose to treat myself with compassion," or "I am worthy of my own kindness," are small enough to remember and powerful enough to change the inner climate. They can be whispered before sleep, said in the mirror in the morning, or silently repeated when self-criticism tries to take over. The more these loving phrases are repeated, the more the heart begins to believe them. A beautiful way to deepen this practice is through mirror work. It may feel unusual at first, but it is one of the most direct ways to connect with the self. Stand or sit in front of a mirror where you can look directly into your eyes. Allow yourself to really see the person looking back at you, not the surface details, but the soul behind them. At first, it may feel strange or even uncomfortable, but that's only because it's new. This is not about appearance. It's about connection. Begin with a few deep breaths. Then, softly say something affirming to your reflection. It could be as simple as, "I am here for you," or "You are doing well." Speak slowly and let the words settle. If the eyes fill with tears, let them. That is simply the heart responding to the nourishment it has been longing for. Over time, this daily practice becomes a bridge between the mind and the heart, allowing self-compassion to flow freely. As self-kindness grows, the way we see our past changes too. The mistakes that once felt like proof of unworthiness can begin to look different as teachers rather than punishers. Life, in its quiet wisdom, often uses difficult experiences to guide us toward understanding, strength, and empathy. While it may not be easy to accept in the moment, Every challenge has the potential to shape us into more compassionate beings. Transforming guilt into growth means choosing to see what was learned instead of focusing only on what was lost. Perhaps a decision taught patience or a failure taught resilience. Sometimes the lesson is simply that we are far stronger than we once thought. This doesn't mean we excuse harmful actions. It means we acknowledge them, learn from them, and allow ourselves to move forward without carrying the heavy chains of blame. A powerful visualization for this is to close the eyes and picture the younger version of yourself, the one who made the choice you regret or experienced the pain you carry. Imagine walking up to them with open arms. See yourself offering them a warm embrace, speaking to them with the gentleness you wish someone had shown you then. Tell them they are forgiven. Tell them they are loved. In this vision, feel the relief in their body and let that relief sink into yours. Each time we practice this kind of compassion, we are restoring something precious, the trust between our mind and our heart. And in that trust, there is space for peace to take root. That peace becomes the foundation on which we can rebuild our sense of self, not as someone defined by mistakes, but as someone shaped and strengthened by every experience. As the heart begins to heal, it is ready to receive words that lift instead of weigh it down. Affirmations for ending self-blame are not empty phrases. They are gentle reminders of the truth that may have been forgotten. They work like soft rain on dry soil, nourishing new growth where the ground once felt barren. These affirmations are not meant to erase the past, but to shift the way we carry it. When said slowly and with presence, they can replace the harsh inner commentary that has been running for years. Simple, loving words hold great power. I release the weight of blame. I am worthy of peace. I am learning to treat myself with kindness. Every day, I grow in understanding and compassion for myself. When these phrases are repeated, whether quietly in the mind during a walk, softly aloud while preparing for the day, or in stillness before sleep, they begin to rewrite the inner script. The more they are spoken with sincerity, the more they settle into the subconscious, becoming the natural voice that rises in difficult moments. To deepen this practice, it helps to feel the words rather than only saying them. As you speak, let the body join in agreement. Relax the jaw, soften the shoulders, let the breath flow easily. Feel each affirmation as though it is a warm blanket wrapping around you. This allows the message to be received not just by the mind, but by the whole being. Building a new relationship with oneself also means creating daily rituals that nurture healing. These rituals do not have to be grand or time-consuming. It is their consistency that matters most. In the morning, take a few moments to write down 3 things you are grateful for. Not only big achievements, but small, gentle things like a warm cup of tea, the sound of rain, or the comfort of your own bed. This shifts the focus from what is wrong to what is already supporting you. In the evening, create a habit of acknowledging yourself for 3 things you did well that day. They can be as simple as speaking kindly to yourself, taking a deep breath instead of reacting, or completing a small task despite feeling tired. This practice retrains the mind to see your efforts and to appreciate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Throughout the day, pause for mindful breathing. Even one slow inhale and exhale can help release tension and bring the mind back to the present. These short moments act as bridges, reconnecting you to a calm, centered state. When done regularly, they become anchors that keep you steady, even when old patterns try to pull you back into self-blame. Over time, these practices form a strong foundation for ongoing healing. They remind you that self-restoration is not a single event. It is a living process tended to each day with gentle care. It grows stronger with every choice to meet yourself with kindness rather than criticism. And so, the journey comes to this truth. Healing is not about forgetting the past or pretending pain never existed. It is about transforming the relationship you have with yourself so that even in the face of mistakes or regrets, your first instinct is to offer compassion. It is about understanding that you are not defined by the storms you have weathered, but by the love and light you choose to bring to yourself now. The heart was never meant to live under the constant weight of guilt. It was meant to open, to give, to receive, and to rest in peace. When you choose to release self-blame, you are not only freeing your mind, you are giving your body, your spirit, and your future the gift of space to flourish. Carry this with you. I am gentle with myself. I release the past. I welcome peace into my heart. Let these words be more than sounds. Let them be the new rhythm of your life. Step forward knowing that each moment offers you a fresh beginning, and within that beginning, there is always the possibility of restoration. The power to return to wholeness has always been yours, and it will continue to guide you home to yourself.